call is now being recorded.
Hi, Brent Forsey at TopVelocity.net. I got another pitcher on the line who's had some great success with the program. Just want to introduce Nolan. Nolan, how do you say your last name?
Savage.
Nolan Savage. Cool, man. I know you haven't been to 3X Velocity Camp. You've done the program online, and just what we've talked through and the kind of conversations we've had in the past. You know, you've been through a good amount of it. You know, a lot of guys don't typically get through even, get into the in-season programs initially just because it's such a challenging program. So it's good to hear that you've progressed through the whole thing and had some success with it. So why don't you kind of start us off where you were when you first got the program? You said it was a couple years ago. Where were you in school, and why were you interested in the program?
I was in high school when I was throwing about 87 to 89, and I was just looking for something to give me that extra boost to get to the next level and play in college. And I looked it up, and I would just look at different programs. I looked at the Jaeger program, looked at some other ones, and the one that caught my eye the most was the Top Velocity program. I bought it my freshman year and junior college, and didn't use it at all that year. I couldn't find time to fit it in. I knew it was a pretty hefty program, and so I was trying to find time to get it, but I couldn't really get it in. So going into my sophomore year, I made time, laid out the plan, made checklists for everything I needed to do, and I hit it hard this past fall year, all throughout the winter. Did level 1, got into level 2 a little bit, did the preseason program before the season started, and when I got into the season, I did the in-season program, and during the whole time I saw velocity gains throughout the whole time I was there. Going into my first start this past year, I was consistently at 90, 93, and then towards the end of the year I was hitting that still, and then I was hitting 94, 95 by the end of the year.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. So, what after you said you didn't have the time to do it, why did you pick it back up again? What motivated you to after all that time not doing it, to pick it up and go back at it, or go at it?
Well, I was trying to see what I could get done with my junior college plan. They didn't really have a plan at all. And I knew that in the back of my mind I had that Top Velocity program that would definitely help more than anything. Trying to get it into the in-season my freshman year, doing the level 1 and stuff, didn't really work out. So I came back to it and knew that it would help a tremendous amount, and it eventually did.
Awesome, man. So when you're initially going through it, like everybody gets exhausted and gets frustrated with it. I mean, what initially kept you pushing through? Did you get any initial gains, or did you just say, I really believe in this program, I really think it's going to work, I just got to stick it out? I mean, what was your approach?
I think that, working out for me is a huge deal, and I think that when I did start to do the triple extension, which I've never done before, I was definitely seeing a lot more transfer power from my lower half throughout my core into the upper half, and I was getting more extension towards the plate, and I knew that with this, if I just kept working on that and got more velocity, more speed, and more power with that, I knew that it would just come slowly. Even if it's a little gain at a time, it's still a gain, and it's something that can't be overlooked. Being patient with it and not getting frustrated you're going to get frustrated, but you have to be patient to know that it's going to work at some point.
Yeah. So what do you think was significant? So what was really helping you? What do you think the program? What's kind of like the bread and butter in the program that you knew that this was really what was really helping me make these increases in my ball speed?
I definitely think that the most significant part was the Olympic lifts. It's a total body workout, and it works all the way from the lower half transfer up to the upper half. And being able to perfect that, I had guys that I was working out with. I would try to teach them the Olympic lifts, and that's what and they look ridiculous, and I knew that's what I looked like when I started out.
Right.
But now that I've basically perfected all of them, it's shown that you can get a total body movement and have an incredible amount of power throughout your whole body, then it transfers basically the same way as it does in pitching.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, that is one of the big keys to it, knowing the techniques. I mean, that's what a lot of guys don't understand. The technique is really almost more important than actually doing it. It's doing it correctly. So, you know, a lot of guys don't understand that and don't understand how it needs to be built up, you know, built up through a periodization model, you know, where, you know, you're not just, you know, you're not just throwing on weight for the day. You're actually, you know, you got your volume weeks, you got your recovery weeks, and then you got your performance weeks, and building it up that way. So what was helping you mechanically? Was it anything specific in the program helping you mechanically?
I think it definitely helped. Before I wasn't using my legs as much. I was basically all just whip action, my arm, and my stride wasn't near as far as it was now. Right now I'm getting much more of a push from my drive leg. Hip action.
Was there any drills though? Were any drills in the programs that were helping you?
I think the best one the ones that I liked the most were the med balls. Using those in the pitch simulation ones. And then the drills where you have to the ones where you extend like 3 times, where you go drive, and then
drives. You're right, exactly.
Yes, those ones.
Drills,
those are the ones that I like the most. But I know that the simple ones that you have to do every day are the ones that are keeping the mechanics in line, keeping everything the way they need to be. Those are the simple ones are the ones that you need to focus on every day as well.
Awesome. So when you get up to 95, when you get up there and you touch 95, not a lot of these guys can do that. What do you think you're doing really well in the mound that is doing that for you? And did you think the program was helping you get there?
First of all, for sure, the program was definitely probably the main reason why I got there. I don't think I would have been able to get there with anything else, any supplements, steroids, anything. I mean, it was purely just the program that I was using.
Awesome.
But I think the main thing that I saw, and then my pitching coach and other teammates saw, was the drive and the extension. And then not only that was the speed through the extension, being able to come from the breaking point to the mound as fast as possible. It's not just an arm action, it's a whole body action, like in the Olympic lifts and everything else that you train with. It is getting from the set position to the mound is a total body movement, and it's just, and I was about 6 feet to almost 6.5 feet in my extension, and then getting through it as quickly as I did, I think was one of the main things that I saw an improvement in, and what helped me the most to get to that velocity point.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing your video. I mean, you're a very fast guy, incredibly explosive. I mean, did you always have that speed, or do you think is that what you're saying? Is the program, did it really, really give you that? I think as you got good at the lifts and stuff.
Yeah, I have been quick. I've been pretty fast my whole life, but I was never able to use that. I never thought you could do that in a pitching motion. Getting to the mound like that explosiveness, I've never thought that was possible. And then the program is what definitely helped me to get that and use that on the mound.
So what does it feel like to throw 90? I mean, is there anything you can describe in the feelings? I mean, 95 actually.
Yeah, when I first touched 90, I thought it was pretty incredible. I thought I would never be there, but being able to sit at it consistently now has been a major blessing. I mean, it's a testament to all the hard work I put in, but also to the program. And then being able to throw 95 the first time I heard it this past year, it was unbelievable. I had no idea that I'd touched it, but it felt like I was just throwing normal speed. I knew that I was coming out of the I pitched straight from the stretch too, but coming out of my set, I knew that something was happening when I was exploding off the mound and using my drive leg as fast as I was. But being able to do that is just, it was pretty unreal to hear somebody say that you throw 95, and there was a couple major league prospects in there that were able to see that too.
That's great, man. It does. It changes things. I mean, what's the
Exactly.
difference? I mean, tell everybody what's the difference between throwing in the high 80s as opposed to throwing, in the low, close to the mid 90s. Tell them what the difference is. It's huge, isn't it?
It is. It definitely gets you a little more attention
Right.
when you're looking to go to the next level. You can definitely get a lot more looks when you're throwing low to mid 90s than when you're throwing high 80s.
Right.
But you have to be able to throw that. Velocity does matter, and it is something you need if you want to be at the next level.
Yep. So you talked about the work ethic. I mean, that's key. You really, its program is worthless if you don't have the work ethic. So
Exactly.
obviously you've got a crazy work ethic. I mean, what kind of advice can you give to those guys out there about a work ethic? Like, what does it take to have a good work ethic?
I'd say to have a good work ethic, you just need to lay out a plan. I tell myself before I go to bed every night, you do everything you needed to do today to get better, and if you didn't, then you wasted a day. You have to.
Awesome.
What I do is I make a checklist of everything I need to do for the day, either all the lifting, the core, the ab routines, the drills, the med balls, the forearms, the shoulder, joint integrity training, all of that. Make a checklist of it. I usually make a checklist of it at the beginning of the week. And if I didn't do it all, then I can't. I have to sign it off at the end of the day with my signature. But if you don't do it all, you can't check everything off. You can't sign it. And if you don't see that signature at the end of the day, it's like, what have I done? I wasted a day. I didn't get everything done that I needed to. So I think being able to have that visual, I mean, that's your visual work ethic right there. And then that puts into perspective what you're doing to get better every day.
That's awesome, man. So that signature is a pretty cool thing. I like that. I would highly recommend that to anybody. At the same time too, you're rewarding yourself with your own signature and you're practicing it. So when you're a big leaguer, when you sign it,
exactly. Yes, exactly. That's something I thought about too.
That's awesome, man. There's nothing about having a nice signature when you start signing baseballs. It's always
exactly.
You always feel like a loser when you go to sign a baseball and you don't know how to make your signature work.
Yeah. And getting to practice it now might pay off.
Right, exactly. Yeah, man, that's awesome. I think that's really cool. I think it's just a testament to your success. I mean, like I said, this program is ineffective if you don't have that kind of work ethic. So it's just like the best combination for ball speed is a program like 3X programs and a work ethic like yours, and it works, man, because it's not rocket science. It's if you just apply the principles and the physics and the science that we've put into the program, then the hard work, once you put the hard work in, it pays off. It should do that for everybody.
Yeah, you're going to see results whether you're on this plan or any other one, but this is the plan I would recommend the most. As long as you have a plan and you have something to go by, you're going to see results no matter what. But this is the one that I would recommend for anyone. And I have a few guys on my team last year that I recommended it to, and they ended up purchasing it, and they love it too. So it's definitely something I'd recommend to anybody.
Well, sweet, dude. I'm probably just going to send you that level 3 for free then. How about that?
That would be awesome. Yeah, that would be great.
All right, I'll do that, man. I'll get you to level 3.
Awesome.
Well, awesome, dude. Well, I guess one last thing I had, lost my train of thought, but as far as, I guess any advice to someone out there, that's what I was going to ask you. If you look at what you just did, and if you look at the work ethic you've put in following this program, how does that compare to the other guys on your team? I mean,
right.
It's. I mean, go ahead and answer it. You're probably going to say what I want to say.
Yeah, I have noticed it. I have seen. I know what you're asking. There have been guys on my teams that they think they know what they're doing. They go through the bodybuilding workouts, the ones where they try to get their shoulders huge, because if you get your shoulders big, you're going to throw harder. Or or they'll pick up the heavy weighted baseballs and they'll go, yeah, if I can throw a 12-ounce ball harder, then I can definitely throw a 5-ounce ball harder.
I love that mentality.
But stuff like that, there's no proven science to back that up.
Right.
And
Right.
I had a pitching coach this past year that said, if you can run 4 or 5 miles in this amount of time, you'll be able to throw this hard for this long. And I was like, that's not how it works.
So that's another good question.
Well,
then how do you deal with these coaches? I get that all the time. These guys, a lot of these guys are scared to do this kind of a program because it's so different. It's so different from what their coaches want or what their coaches allow. How do you tell these guys to do it?
I had an old school coach that was like that. He was like, he would try to make you do that. But I took one of your articles, the 10 things that decrease velocity, and I slipped it under his door, and
right, you're a provoker, man.
Yeah, he took us in a group, and he was cussing us out and saying that his program was the right way to do it, and he said that it was velocity. But the thing was that during the whole season, nobody increased velocity or kept their velocity this past year. They all lost their velocity, and I was the only one that was able to increase it because of it.
Wow.
But what I would do, and I never told him it, when he would make us go on these runs, we would have to run up hills and run down hills and up hills, and I would go sit at the top of the first hill, and he would never come with us. So I would sit at the top of the hill till everybody came back and then jog back down with them, so I wouldn't have to do it with them. So I would just kind of avoid the long distance running as much as I could.
Yeah, I took the watch, and I would run. I'd sprint 20 seconds and then jog for a minute and then sprint 20 seconds or even less. And 10 seconds.
I would do the same thing.
I was getting my short intervals in.
Yep. Doing that is the next best thing you can do. But I would try to avoid doing the long distance running as much as I can.
Yeah, because just like you said, these coaches, they advise you or they tell you to, go run 4 miles, go run 5 miles. They never come with you. I only had one coach in my career come with me, and he was a nut job. And when he came with us, he just wanted to show us how fast he was, and he would run so fast ahead of us, it didn't matter what we were doing. He couldn't see us. But the point was, they'd never come with you. They never run with you. So it's just like busy work is what it is. So, you're not to go against the coach. I mean, unfortunately, you can get yourself in trouble, and I've had guys do that. You got to be careful because they do make the roster. But you do need to do what you believe is best for you, and somehow you need to work it into the team. So my way of still running with the guys and breaking it up with my watch, that was my way of doing the program with the coach, but breaking it up the way it needed to be done.
Yeah, and it's even though it is what they recommend you do as a pitching coach, it shows on the field and in the numbers and velocity with what is actually working. And this past year, it wasn't what he was talking about. That's what was not working.
Right. Yeah, but the point is, like you said, I mean, like I said, they make the roster. So, I mean, you got to be very careful. You're walking a fine line with this. So you're better off not really provoking the coach because it never ends well unless he's just a really cool coach. So you're better off just kind of hiding it. And so how did you do it as far as the rest of the program, like your lifting and stuff? Were they okay with your lifting?
Yeah, we were basically on our own for lifting and pretty much in any junior college you're going to go to, unless it's a major junior college. I mean, we played against Howard, Midland College, New Mexico Junior College. I'm sure they had stuff that they had them do, but at most junior colleges you're going to be on your own, and we were on our own, and they knew that everybody was working hard. So they were pretty cool with me doing my own thing, and I found time to fit it in there when I needed to. And so they just gave us weight room time, and I got it done when the time I needed to. Usually I had to stay after a little more because the level 2 was pretty long on most days. But they were pretty cool with having that done.
Well, awesome, dude. Well, hey, man, it's been really cool, dude. I've enjoyed getting to know your approach on this, and how you've been doing it, and it's inspiring. I think you're inspiring other guys to kind of take your career, or take responsibility for your career, and do what's best for you, and do it hard, and hold yourself accountable. You don't need anybody else. If you should hold yourself accountable, and get that signature signed at the end of the week because you accomplished what you set out to do, and work towards your goals, work towards your many goals, and then work towards your bigger goals.
Exactly.
And if you do that within this program, because it gives you tons of metrics, tons of ways to measure your performance and are things getting better. And if you're doing that, it's kind of like the sky's the limit. You'll do things with your body you never thought you could possibly do.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah, and there have been many things like I never thought I'd be able to power glean or squat as much as I have, but there are things that you can definitely see an improvement in with your body, and throwing 95 was the biggest accomplishment I think I've had pitching wise.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Hardest I ever threw, wherever I was told I threw, was 94 by my coach in indie ball. So you got me. You beat me, man. That's pretty awesome.
And I never thought I was able to do that. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Awesome, dude. Well, I hope it keeps going. I mean, don't stop now, right?
No, exactly. Yeah, hopefully this year I'm looking to throw a little harder than that, and hopefully get drafted. I passed up in the draft this past year because a numbers situation and everything. I told them don't draft me if you can't reach my number, but this next year is hopefully going to be my year. Okay,
well, cool, man. Well, I'm with the MLB team. I don't want to say it online right now, but I'll tell them to look for you. I work with I'll just say it. I do a consultant for the Rays, so I'll maybe I can throw you in there, dude.
All right, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, no problem.
All right, well, any last advice, man? Like anything you would give to those kind of, who are looking at listening to this interview, saying to themselves, what do I need to do to really change my career? What kind of advice would you give them? I mean, you don't have to glorify the program. I think you've done enough. I mean, just what good advice would you give them going forward and really making a significant difference in their career?
First of all, the program is definitely worth it. It's worth the amount that is you can pay for and much more. But once you get it, the biggest thing is having to get the work ethic to complete the program. It's going to be the hardest program you've ever done. And being able to do that and make yourself accountable for getting everything done every day is going to make you feel better about yourself, and it's going to make you a better athlete and a better pitcher overall. So it's definitely worth it and something I would recommend.
Well, dude, that's awesome. I really appreciate it. Well, I'm in their interview, but hang on the line real quick, okay?
Okay.
All right, man. Their interview, but hang on the line real quick, okay?
Okay.
All right, man. Their interview.